Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Meet you again for the topic of musyarakah contract. In this section, we are going to learn about the basic rules of musyarakah, and the main record should be produced by the accounting for musyarakah contract. Our agenda in this video is to introduce the definition of musyarakah, the scheme of musyarakah, Musharakah-mooc as one of the famous akad in Islamic banking, and the accounting treatment for musyarakah. The root of word of musyarakah is syirkah, which means collaboration or partnership. Syirkah or partnership in general means a corporation between two or more parties to reach a particular goal, and every party contribute to the partnership. Two types of musyarakah. Based on the agreement, syirkah has two types, syirkah amlak and syirkah uqud. Syirkah amlak is a corporation without any agreement or contract. It goes naturally. The example is doing works together, dividing inheritance, and etc. While syirkah uqud is a corporation as a result of agreement between or among parties, such as making a partnership companies, commanditer vennootschap, corporation, and etc. Musyarakah contract is a kind of syirkah uqud, as it needs a contract. Let's now see the scheme of musyarakah. Take a look of this scheme. Two parties, individuals or organization, agree to develop a musyarakah contract. Both of them contribute for capital, but not all of them should contribute skill. Only active partners who contribute skills or effort in managing the business or asset. Then they use the capital to make a business or buy an asset. Then they manage the asset or the business and get the profit. The profit of the asset or business is then shared or divided between the parties based on their profit-sharing agreement that is made in advance. In a basic musyarakah, the partnership will be held forever or a going concern basis. In the case that they agree to terminate the agreement in a particular time, like a case with a bank usually is, they will divide the asset at the termination date to each of them based on the agreement. One thing to remember is that the profit to be shared should be a realized cash basis profit and not include the accrual nor the prediction. Let's now see the scheme of musyarakah-mooc. Next is the contract of Musharakah-mooc as an alternative of the musyarakah contract. This contract is very common in an Islamic bank contract. In this contract, the customer will pay the portion of bank and he or she will have the business by his own. And there will be a termination or musyarakah duration agreed between the parties. So arrow number 5 in the figure exists in the contract with a bank. Therefore, Musharakah-mooc is usually followed by an agreement that the customer will pay or buy the portion of the bank in an installment basis until the ownership of the bank is zero. Then the business or asset is then owned solely by the customer. AAOIV provides the guidance for musyarakah in Sharia Standard number 12 and Financial Accounting Standard or FIS number 4. This regulation is not mandatory as AAOIV does not have an authority to do so. It is the country that chooses to apply AAOIV standard or not. Investment in musyarakah can be in cash or a non-cash asset. The asset given is recognized as a musyarakah investment in the investor's book or musyarakah financing in the case of bank. Cash investment is measured for the amount invested at the date of the cash transfer. This is the journal entry, debit musyarakah investment and credit cash. If the investment is in a non-cash asset, the investment is measured with the fair value of the asset given. This is the journal entry. Profit sharing recognition. The profit sharing is based on the realized income, not a prediction in a business plan. Profit is divided according to the agreement in advance, while loss is divided based on the proportion of ownership of each party. Here is the journal entry. We debit cash and credit income from Musharakah investment. The value of Musharakah asset can decrease. If it happens, the investor should recognize the impairment loss and state it as a contra account to the Musharakah investment. However, if the decrease of the value is because of the ignorance of the active partner, then it will be recognized as a receivable to the active partner. This is the journal entry. The impairment loss is sometimes recoverable. If they are, then the allowance journal entry should be referred and then recognize it as a receivable. Here is the journal entry to recognize the recovery of the loss. The second journal here is the recognition of the rest of the profit above the recovery. The settlement of Musharakah to the partners or Shari will make the contract terminated and the partnership or Shirkah is dismissed. The settlement will write off the investment in Musharakah in the book of the investors. Here is the journal entry. Musharakah is stated as the cost deducted by the allowance for the impairment loss. So investment in Musharakah will be deducted by the allowance of impairment loss. Then we will get the net value as seen in the figure. Here is how the Musharakah investment appears in the bank's book. In the report of financial position, investment in Musharakah or Musharakah financing appears in the bank's book, while in the income statement, bank will recognize the income from investment in Musharakah. Here is how it looks. In the notes to financial statement, the bank should disclose the policy on the investment in Musharakah, the detail of the Musharakah according to the industry, the due date, the amount, and etc. It can choose the important information to publish. I think this is all for the brief discussion. Have a good day. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.